And welcome back, folks. This is The Way It Is Naturally. I am your host, Perry Larrabee, and tonight we are going to redo the show that I did on Monday, but accidentally forgot to do my sound check on. So basically, we did a whole show of charades, and we're going to try and redeem ourselves tonight and do that same show all over again, this time with talking. Be right back. Welcome everybody. Here we are, Friday. It is the end of the week. I hope everybody is happy and healthy and hope they're still able to get all their training done and things aren't shutting down for them. That would be a great step in the right direction. Anyways, what else? What is new? What's going on? Well, not a whole lot at this end. Training's going well. Everything's coming along the way I want it. Starting to bring in some equipment into the facility, which is good. Other than that, not a whole lot new, so we're going to get right into the topic. As you can see, I've started to talk about people and their cameras and their phones in the gym. And it's become pretty much an epidemic, to be honest with you. I mean, I know it's not right up there with COVID-19, but it's gotten to the point where it's almost at the state of ridiculousness. Keep in mind that many of the people that are doing this, they're not doing this in the privacy of their own home gym. I mean, if you look at most of what's posted out there, these are in public facilities. So someone might say, well, what's wrong with that? Well, it's just kind of our mentality these days. We honestly believe that we should have the right to do whatever we want, whenever we want, even in public, and that's not really the case. And it's also a matter of, if you're spending so much time trying to get those shots just right, because I can tell you right now, most of those people aren't doing just one shot. They're doing plenty and plenty and plenty. So if you're putting that much work into your photographs, you're not doing much training. So what are you actually there for? So I guess we get down to, that gets into the conversation about what is your motivation? Well, I think for a lot of people, to be honest with you, it's just it's a narcissistic thing. I mean, when I started in this business 43 years ago, that was the whole talk, right? I mean, the only people, you didn't see people left, right, and center with muscle anywhere, whether it be out to dinner, in the bar, whatever. It didn't matter. You didn't see it. It was a rare thing. It was kind of like, the same thing that was going on down at Venice Beach. I mean, those bodybuilders at that point, they were a total enigma. They there were nothing you would see anywhere else. So whenever you went anywhere else in the world, it was the same thing. I mean, bodybuilders just stood out. And you wouldn't get really ridiculed to your face, because most people didn't really have the balls to do that. But, most guys didn't have the desire to go to the gym and do that. They just wanted to meet girls and pick them up and that type of thing. And girls always wanted to be in denial that, they didn't like what they were seeing, but I know for a fact they did. Talked to enough of them. So it was kind of a whole different era at that point. Now, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is flocking to the gym, but it's not for the same reasons at all. And it's also the reason why most of the people that you see at the gym, it's a continual state of changeover, because you don't stick at it very long. And you don't stick at it very long because your motivation is wrong. And 90% of the people that are doing it are taking drugs to get there, which is pretty sad. They step into the gym, and some of them, before they even touch a weight, are doing drugs right off the bat, or they're doing drugs in a very short order period of time. Why? Because of two reasons. They've either been approached. There's people literally hang out at the gyms because that's how they make their money. They make their money by selling drugs to people. Okay. Then there's, of course, the buddy of the buddy of the buddy who brings along and says, this is what you got to do. Of course, you believe them. You don't look into anything else, and before long, that's what you're doing. And then the next step up is, people decide, well, then the internet kind of hit a boom, right? Back when I started training, there was no Instagram, there was no YouTube, there was no Facebook. People did not have those avenues to, get their, what used to be, I think at one point, a healthy perspective, getting their message out. Don't get me wrong, there's some good groups out there, they're a rarity, where people actually congregate together, and they share information, whether they have the credentials for it or not, but they share information in good faith, they share pictures to motivate one another, and those things are great. But then you see an excess of certain things, okay? You see some people literally posting the same pictures day in and day out. And you have to wonder why you're doing that. Like, your body doesn't change one day to the next. And it's not like they're just saying hello, and they're actually, the captions read something to the effect of, look at this, or whatever the case might be. And then we get into the whole conversation about what they're actually displaying, because sadly, it's become basically an arena of soft porn. It's not even about fitness, not about muscle building. That's such a small percentage of what you see out there now. Most of what you see are women, first of all, in a state of almost complete undress, which is just disgusting. If I want to see, I'll go look at a Penthouse or a Playboy magazine, which I don't read, or I'll go watch porn if I really want to do that, which I don't do. So, it's, what are we doing here? If it's muscle and fitness, it's muscle and fitness. Also keep in mind that, and I try to tell myself, not every picture that's put up there, for example, is actually put up there by the people themselves. I noticed, for example, this is one thing I noticed right off the bat. When I joined a lot of these groups, and I joined the groups for two main reasons. One, to help, promote my company. I've been a personal trainer for 4 decades plus. I'm still very active in the community, and, this was my new horizon to spread what I do, take it up to another level. Definitely in need in the industry, that's for sure. Oh, sure, there's thousands of trainers, but there's thousands of people that should never be training. Okay, so that was one reason why I went on there. The second reason was to help people. So I joined all these groups and I started helping people. I would do, I guess, that kind of ties in with maybe a third objective. I wanted to help people, but I wanted to help them stay natural. Get rid of the BS and the garbage that's going on in this world, and convince them, contrary to what their buddies are telling them, or their boyfriends are telling them, or whatever the case might be, you can create tremendous physiques that will last. They won't disappear once you start sticking needles in, stop sticking needles in your ass and pills in your throat. Okay, they'll last, and you'll mentally be in a stable enough state that you'll actually want to continue doing it. So all these things tied together, you say, well, what does that have to do with taking pictures and videos? Well, it has a lot to do with it, because it's the whole state of being. It's the whole frame of mind that people are in. It's like everybody thinks, for example, that they're going to either get discovered or they're going to be the next YouTube star. Folks, let me give you some reality here, okay? 99.9999% of people on any of those avenues don't have any particular talent that's above the rest. You don't. Whether it be, women that think they're so great and whatever, and they have to show off their breasts and their ass all the time. There's thousands of girls doing the same thing, and they all look the same way. Half of them are buying, most of them have implants. Some of them have ass implants. Some of them have, tit implants. You name it. Not to mention, false eyelashes, false nails, and what does that have to do with fitness? Point being, you don't stand out from the rest of the crowd. So what are you doing taking pictures every day thinking, what, are you going to try and convince somebody? No, all you're really doing is you're entertaining the perverts. Which brings me to what I was saying earlier. A lot of what you see out there are pictures put up, not even by the people themselves. Obviously, these pictures have been taken at some point, but I'll see lots of pictures of women, for example, But those pictures are not put up by the women. They're put up by some guy or some group or whatever. It has nothing to do with that woman. So where those pictures were taken, someone's obviously taken your pictures, either with or without you knowing it, and are now distributing it any way they want. Keep that in mind next time you're taking all your clothes off of these pictures, and maybe someday your mother, your father, or your kids are going to actually, see these pictures, and I don't know if you're going to take pride in that or not. If you do, then I think there's something a little bit wrong with your mentality, along with your moral compass, okay? Anyways, the other thing too is, if you're so enamored, I guess that's the only word I can think of, you're so enamored with having videos taken and pictures taken, where's your mental focus for your training? I can tell you right now that anybody is doing what I'm seeing happening out here, you are nowhere near training intense. Nowhere near. The only possible exceptions are somebody that actually goes out there, which is a rarity, and has people filming them, or which is not really the case. Most times it's just somebody you can tell. They actually go out there and adjust their camera, and next thing they know, they're doing their exercise, whatever the case might be. You, my friend, are not training hard. You would not last 10 minutes in here with me in the gym. You wouldn't, because the intensity is not there, the focus is not there. You can't possibly be, spreading your attention over getting, just that right picture, because I can tell you, most of people are so narcissistic, they aren't going to just put up any picture. They want just that right picture. So they're spending whatever amount of time it takes to get a picture they finally like, and then half the time it's doctored anyways. So that's the other, which leads me on to the other issue. So you're putting up these pictures half the time that aren't even of you, or they're not really you, because first of all, they start off with 9 times out of 10, be it male or female, they're drug enhanced. That's A. B, from there, most of them on top of that are photoshopped. So exactly what is it that you're trying to display to the world? Because it's not you. And for those people who get on there and they say, look at my transition. Look what I did in 9 months. Well, I'm looking at these people and I'm thinking, well, let's see. If you did that, if that happened in 9 months, that means you took a lot of drugs, and that means you don't get to take credit for any of that. So once again, so you're people that are narcissistic, they want that attention, either want or need, I don't know which one it is. I've never been part and parcel to that type of feeling or that emotion. I've been training and competing since I was 17 years old, and not once did I ever get on a stage to get the applause of the audience. Every time I got ready for a show, it was to test myself to the limit, and more times than not, I won. And I never did terribly. I always did great, or I won. And why? Because I had the right motivation. Okay? I didn't even so much as even keep a trophy. All the wins that I had, all the placings I never kept a single trophy. Why? Because they didn't mean anything. The same reason why people ask. So I say, why why are there not pictures like all over your your Facebook page or your YouTube channel or your website of yourself? It's because I do all my talking on stage. The only change to that will be I'm prepping for a show here in the spring. So there may be some pictures coming up for that. I'll also be doing, once the gym is set up and running, I'll be doing demo exercises here at the gym. So there'll be glimpses, but I don't need that applause from people. And it's not that I don't care less about critiquing, because I'm harder on myself than any person out there is ever going to be on me. I'm not one of these people that, for example, I see a lot of individuals and they've been training 6 months. I made a comment about this in the Facebook group today, as a matter of fact. They've been training 6 months, and the next thing you know, they're talking about getting ready to try and get their pro card. You got to be kidding me. Because so-and-so, their trainer, who's, half of them are total idiots, and they're just, they give them a compliment for some reason, and all of a sudden, they think their caliber is up here, but they're down here. Most of them don't even have potential. But what else is that trainer going to do? He's selling himself, right? I did this. I helped you get this tremendous change. Let's take some pictures. Let's get, keep you motivated. They bring you into the fold, so to speak. Okay. So what am I trying to tell people? What I'm trying to tell you is get away from the pictures and the videos. If you have to do it or if you want to do it, first thing, if you're in a public gym, keep in mind that there's other people trying to use that equipment. And if you're sitting there hogging pieces of equipment because it's taking you whatever amount of times it is to get a proper video or a proper photo or whatever the case might be, keep in mind gym etiquette, which is, I did a whole broadcast on that, gym etiquette. Never taught anywhere, should be taught everywhere. If I was opening a public gym as opposed to a private gym, I guarantee you, none of that crap would be going on in my gym. People would not be sitting on machinery. It would not be just wasting time on machinery. You're either in there to train or you're not, okay? Some people may say, well, that's too hard. No, it's not hardcore. That's called courtesy. It's called etiquette, and it needs to be taught. Okay, anyways, getting more back to the topic at hand. So if you're going to take those pictures and you're in a public gym, make sure you get in there and get it either, the best way is to have somebody do it for you. Bring a friend in, have your training partner, or whatever the case might be. If it's filmed, have them filming you while you're training. Who cares whether you're staring into the camera or whether you get that rep perfect or whatever, just shoot the material and get out of there. 99% of you aren't going to be happy with what you see, or you're going to Photoshop it anyway, so really, does it matter? Probably doesn't matter, okay? Now, if you're at home, well then, you don't have to worry about the etiquette issue. This is your gym, you can do whatever you want. But keep in mind, do you really want to be taking pictures every day? I've seen people sometimes putting up pictures like all over the course of the whole day, and so many of the pictures are the same. Most of the ones I see are women. For some reason, I don't know why, ladies. I don't know, are you feeling insecure? Or I don't know what it is. You should be training for yourself, not to get the accolades, because the accolades you're getting on the internet are not really, other than maybe your close friends or close family, they're just by perverts out there. That other than there is a small percentage of hard training individuals that can appreciate what you're doing, but most of them are just perverts and they just want to see you stick your ass out and your tits out. That's all they want. Pardon the language, but I have to put it that way so you understand that's what you're doing. And the guys, the same thing. I hate to say it, but most of the guys, I can tell by how you're posing out there, you're just posing for the gay community. Because I can tell you right now, I've looked at what most of the comments were, almost exclusively, okay, almost exclusively, all the comments on you guys are by other men, and not hard training men. Go to their profiles. They're just guys who are looking at guys. So, if that's your thing, if you're part of the gay community, have at her. But don't for a minute try to convince yourself, that you're doing something in the name of sport and fitness here, because you're not. You're doing soft porn. So are the girls, and I see it all the time. I mean, it's not everybody, but there's many people coming on there saying, I'm leaving the group, this is nothing but this, but that, and they're right. It's just a group of narcissistic individuals. They all have in the title, weight loss or gym and fitness or hardcore training. But you see maybe 1% of that in pictures and videos, and all the rest is just about people in various states of undress. How many pictures do you even see of shows? I can tell you right now, I could look for days in many of these groups and never see one bodybuilding show. I don't mean bikini show. Sorry, that's not bodybuilding. It just isn't. Okay, and that's the only thing you'll ever see out there is the odd bikini show. And if you turn on the sound, what are you hearing? You're hearing catcalls. You get that on the street and you get pissed off, but it's in the audience, it's okay. It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? Why is it okay then? Because that's all what the guys there want to see. I'm not talking about your friends, I'm not talking about your family. That's what the guys want to see. They're not really out there, for sport and fitness or for bodybuilding. But you could go into any of these groups. I don't care, even the most hardcore group that's out there. You're going to find it hard to see one picture or one video of an actual competition. So if it's such hardcore bodybuilding and training, why isn't there any of that? You'd think there would be, right? I would have expected there would be. I thought there was going to be, but there's not. And I've been a member of most of these groups now for several months. So it hasn't changed and it's not going to change. Okay? So rounding this all up, okay? If you're going to take pictures, you know, and you're in a public gym, show some etiquette, show a little bit of restraint, okay? Don't continually post pictures every day. If you're a member of a small elite group and, you know, and you want to, you know, basically pump each other up, I get that. You know, I mean, you know, sharing amongst each other, and, you know, I understand, you know, people, you know, they even send pictures of what they ate that day and that type of stuff. I get it. Okay? I'm getting at the, basically the shift from fitness, soft pornography in the groups, and the narcissistic point of view rather than hard training. There's not a whole lot of hard training going on in the gym. Okay? You know, and it's up to you, the individuals, you know, maybe more of the people. Have you ever noticed many of these groups have literally tens of thousands of members? But I can tell you right now, from watching many of them, that it's the same 15 or 20 people posting. Why do you think that is? It's because of everything else. It's all fake. There's not 20,000 members. There's not 30,000 members. You can go and find some of these groups, do a search for groups. There'll be no more fitness groups to find. 2 weeks later, there's another new group, and it's got 250,000 members. I don't think so. That's called bots, okay? That's called pretend members. And if that's the case, why is it the same 20 or 30 people posting in there? And half the time, those people are actually administrators. So what are they doing? You know, it all ties in together. A very phony, fake world, okay? And you can choose to either be part of it or not, okay? So if you're really trying to, you know, make yourself some type of a living in this business, keep in mind a couple of things. Most of you who are doing that are doing drugs, okay? You know, when you're trying to get at that level, because the people that aren't doing drugs, I got to tell you right now, you know, and I always tell my clients, don't expect to be competing in a year or two. You know, unless you're some total freak of nature, which I don't even think there even exists at that level, it's going to be years before you're ready to compete. But that's a good thing. It's going to take you that much longer. Those are going to be hard-earned gains. They're going to stay with you, and you're going to know how you got them. Okay? So then you can, you know, start, you know, creating your journey, you know, cataloging pictures or videos if you want. All that's good. Okay? Whereas, you know, and you can possibly, you know, have a career either, you know, somewhere within the industry. I happen to believe that now is the right timing, which is the reason why I went online with my platform. My platform is completely natural. I do not support drug-enhanced training of any sort, whether it be male or female, okay? And that goes right down to people in bikini. There's female bikini contestants, and many of them, almost all the top ones, I can tell you right now, you know, they're using some type of substance. They are. It's very sad. It's in every sport now. That doesn't mean it's okay. But the point I'm trying to make is, at this point in time, I believe the climate is right. Even though, you know, the sport that I love, which is actual bodybuilding, has been so bastardized by this crap, I still think that there's actually this growing rumblings at this point. You know, there was always this little, you know, back group. Even when I first started training, there was a natural magazine that came out, you know, 3 years into my training. I bought every issue. I supported it, but it just went away. Okay, but I believe now the climate is getting to, there's two camps by far. You know, the PEDS camp is, you know, way up in the spotlight. But the other group is definitely there because of the sheer numbers. And still, people still want to believe that you can do things, you can attain these looks naturally, which is a good thing. Okay. The point is, we need more of the people that actually have done it naturally and been out there doing it year after year, decade after decade, convincing them before the other individuals convince them that they can't. Okay? Because once that happens, you become devastated when it doesn't happen for you. And you become even more devastated when the fact is that you've been using and all of a sudden you have to go off, and then you shrink to nothing. You're even worse than you were in the first place. These are all deterrents and will have you up and down like a yo-yo far more than any diet you ever tried. And that goes for both male and female. So if you want to aim for some type of a career in the fitness industry, and you see taking videos and pictures as part of that trip, use it sparingly, use it correctly, market yourself, stay away from drugs, stay clean, and you can have a career that may not take off as quick as you want, but it will be there long, long after there's been so many changing of the guards with these other people. And all these, there'll be so many of these people, they'll listen to this and they will laugh. And they will laugh because they're just the next group of those has-beens that will never be again. I've seen so many of them in the case of 43 years now. It's always a new group. And they always think it's going to be different for them. Always going to be different for them. And the reason being because 99% of the population does not have what it takes to stick this out and make this an actual lifestyle change. All they look for is the end result, and that is to get noticed. They want to get noticed, they got insecurities, they're narcissistic, and this is how they're going to attain it. It's all wrong, the whole formula is wrong. So, go to the gym. Most of the time, leave your camera at home. If you're going to use your phone for anything, use it for cataloging your find a good gym app, okay? For just taking your information. Other than that, put your phone away, hit the iron, train hard, focus in on what you have to do, and don't be so preoccupied with taking pictures all the time. Do that sparingly here and there so you can see your progress, because the other thing is, you will not notice progress day to day to day. Unless you're, zeroing in 2 to 3 weeks over the, course of getting ready for a show, you don't see those big changes in the matter of days. You see them over months and years, okay? Anyways, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I'm pretty sure I had sound on this time, which I'm glad. I'm glad I got sound on this one. I hope this enlightened a few people. It really wasn't meant to take the wind out of people's sails, just to teach them a little bit about etiquette, teach them a little bit about reality, about what they're doing, take a little bit of responsibility and have some respect for yourself, okay, on these platforms that you put your pictures and your videos on. And always beware of other individuals who are making use of your information, because once you put them out there, I can tell you, people find a way to take any of those pictures you want or any of those videos and put them wherever they want to put them. That's something else to keep in mind. Anyways, I love to hear from you. You can join me at Bull Fierce Training. That's Bull Fierce Training on YouTube. You can like and subscribe. I appreciate anybody who helps build that channel. You can join me on Facebook. You can find out that I have a couple of Facebook groups there as well. Bull Fierce Training on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course my website. It's bull-fiercetraining.com. You can check out all my offerings as far as my personal training packages. I have a couple of books coming out by early spring, no later than early spring. Trying to time that with my show. And I'm also coming out and be doing a set of seminars and webinars starting into the year, the new year as well as, of course, my private gym here in Edmonton. Once that is up and running, I'll be letting you know, and anybody who lives in the area, or if you plan to visit in the area, you want to stop by and put you through a good workout, a high intensity training workout, I'd love to have you join me. Once again, my name is Perry Larrabee. This is The Way It Is Naturally. I hope you enjoyed the show. You have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay warm. Bye for now.